It's my conviction that we all wear masks. We put on these faces in different situations in order to achieve a desired outcome. And my other suggestion is that if we removed these masks and were authentic more of the time, we would get more of what we want, and we would do it in a way in which we were far more contented as well. There's this idea to create and curate a version of ourselves which we feel is appropriate in a certain circumstance or for a certain person, for our partners, for our parents, for our friends, for our colleagues, maybe for your employees if you're a boss. And these different versions of ourselves that can crop up from day to day in our lives. And the ultimate outcome is that we want to be respected, appreciated, valued, loved. And I think the greatest fear is that if people see me as I really am, they'll leave. I won't receive the love which I want. And this usually comes through childhood. This was a survival strategy, one created to protect you. So maybe your parents had expectations of you to behave in a certain way to pass tests. Maybe you had to be obedient, maybe just for a particular skill or talent that you had, or maybe you felt too much and so you had to press down those feelings, to swallow the feelings and put a smile on your face and say, I'm fine. I know that that was really true for so much of my childhood. I felt like it was incredibly unsafe to express anger or sadness. I didn't feel like there was really a safe space to hold me for that. And so I kind of assumed that I had to be this happy-go-lucky kid all of the time. And that created a great amount of dissonance within me and just this disconnect between what I needed to show the world and what was going on inside. And this lasted throughout most of my life and still continues now to some degree as well. We all want love. We want to be accepted by those around us. And the mask is a kind of quick route to that. We think if I can show that this person that I'm happy, then they'll believe that I'm a positive person and therefore be more likely to stick around me, because we know that sadness and anger and fear aren't safe to show people. That's something that we learnt quickly as a child. We learnt that love was conditional. It was based on something that you did. You didn't just receive love for being you. And so this is a lesson we carry through our lives. And there's this sense that if I do show what I really feel, then I will be rejected. But the truth is that you're already being rejected for whichever version of you you're playing. There are people with which that is not aligning with, not resonating with, people that feel disconnected from you. And so if you were to actually allow yourself to be the authentic version of yourself, then again, yes, perhaps you'd have, or not perhaps, you would have people that also wouldn't resonate with you, but you would be resonating with you. You wouldn't be abandoning yourself in that situation. And that's something which I did for years. I remember even when I started doing meditation and I created this persona around who I wanted to be seen as a meditator, in terms of someone calm and balanced and unperturbed all the time. And again, some people, I think, somewhat bought into that idea. And yet I was so deeply unsatisfied. And again, there's this idea that you can see that people are liking you for not who you are. And so again, it creates this disconnect, because you're seeing that just a version of you is being accepted. And again, this feels like further abandonment. It was, for me, only when I started really diving into the work which I did with my coach, and then going off and doing some yoga teacher training and meeting this incredible group of people. And for the first time in my life, I really embodied this authentic version of myself. And I felt so accepted and loved and valued for who I was for the first time in my life. And that was so transformational, to be able to be myself and to get this positive response, a positive response that I'd got before, but for not being who I truly was, for putting on some sort of performance that I thought would get that response. And I feel like I'm falling into that same trap with YouTube and trying to chase an algorithm, trying to get views, hoping that people will watch. And I've just found such a disconnect with myself recently, and the sense of just not really knowing who I am anymore, because I am me so much less of the time, because I'm trying to curate a version of me. And yeah, I think that this is a common thing in the human experience, to move away from what's actually alive in you and to do something that you think will please somebody else. And I believe that it's that kind of thing that leads to big things like depression, because we're moving further and further away from reality and creating this facade which just leaves this hollowness inside. So yeah, I have an exercise for you if you want to try it, if this is something that you feel is happening in your own life. And that exercise would be the next time that you are out, and maybe you're at a supermarket, maybe you're somewhere else, anywhere, and somebody asks you, "How are you?" Instead of automatically saying, "I'm fine," just pause for a second and check in with yourself, and then say one sentence of truth. Maybe, "I'm tired." Maybe, "I'm not feeling too great right now." Maybe, "I'm struggling today." Maybe, "I'm filled with joy." And I'm not suggesting that you give them an entire history of all of the woes in your life, but rather just one sentence, because that is a doorway to truth and honesty. And truth and honesty in life can also be so transformational. So yeah, that's what I would encourage you to do as a first step. And yeah, I'm curious, what masks are you still wearing, and what are they holding you back from? If this resonates with you, and if you want to dive deeper into this work, click the link in the description below. As I work one-on-one with people, that will give you a link to my calendar. where you can book a one-on-one session with me, and we can dive into this work together. And if this video resonated with you, please consider liking or subscribing. It would make the world of difference.